Today's 814 data. I'm here to lessons to learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Now, when you want to pursue something meaningful in life, what happens? A lot of times we create objections to ourselves. Object our future, object some action, object to really pursue something meaningful in life. And why we create those objections? There's a lot of different reasons why we create objections, but I think that it's very, very important to learn how to overcome our own personal objections. Because at a lot of times we want something, and we want something very, very bad. But our thoughts, our decision-making process stops us from really pursuing that. We allow our demons to really destroy our actions, destroy our decision-making process, because we allow our objections to win the day. So today we'll focus exactly what we're able to do to really overcome those objections and really live a much more beautiful and joyful life. Because when you take action, it's very hard to be sad, disappointed, because actions give you joy, energy. At least for me, action is one of the things that really energizes me a lot. So the more energy I put in actions, the more energy I get. Such an interesting thing. The more energy you put, the more energy you get. So number one is, when you think about personal objections, we need to identify the objection. Because a lot of times we say, I'm not able to see myself doing that because of this and this and this and this. So that means that you identify that objection. Why you are saying that? Maybe I don't have resources again. So what is objection? What is true objection? And a lot of times we realize that we have some limiting beliefs. So we have a limiting beliefs and our fear. That means that you're able to achieve all the things that you want. You're able to create a plan, but because of the fear, so you need to identify what is the exact objections. Because we have sometimes a smoke screen. We say one thing, but actually, deep down, we're afraid of something. Afraid of rejection or anything between. So we need to identify the objection. Number two is really explore root cause of that objection. A root cause of that objection. So it means when you say that I'm afraid of something, why are you afraid? What exactly makes you be afraid? Are you afraid of risks? Do you want to be stability? What exactly are you afraid of? So knowing objection and the root cause of that objection is very important, because when you fix the root cause, it's much, much easier to fix anything. Because a lot of times you focus on the symptoms, but the root cause is the same. So the symptoms are still coming back. Number three is challenge those negative thoughts. Challenge them, because a lot of times when we challenge obstacles, when we challenge objections, when we challenge those negative thoughts, what we realize that they didn't have proof, they didn't have anything solid to stand on. Because when we question, when we challenge, that means that we're able to figure out that, okay, what is truly happening and what is not. Because a lot of times our objections are the smoke screen, and it's actually not there. So when you challenge, you're able to figure out if this is actually happening or not. Number four is seek perspective. When you have objections for yourself, it means that you need to understand, is this fact or is opinion, and we need to seek perspective on that. Because a lot of times we're not able to distinguish opinion and fact, because facts we're able to understand and follow, but opinions is based on random things. I just think that way. No, like where your opinions are coming from. We need to get perspective to understand what is the difference between fact and opinion. Number five is research and gather information. Research and gather information. So of course you're able to seek perspective. This is one of the gathering information. Another things is you're able to go outside and look for books, seminars, anywhere that you're able to really find and gather information that could be better in making that choice, that you are able to overcome that objection, that personal objection. So it means that we're able to really seek information, seek guidance, seek knowledge, seek wisdom, that objection doesn't seem as valid anymore. Number six is that we need to break down a goal. We need to, let's say, like, I want to overcome that objection, and I want to pursue a goal. And I have a set a goal, and I have objection to produce. So let's maybe I create objections because I'm fearful of that massive goal. Maybe I'm able to break down and make small goals, and I will not create those objections. I will not create thoughts that all will not work for me because this and this and this. No. But when you break down the big goal that you have set for yourself, just very small, that means you spend less time thinking if it will work or not, because this is so small that you know that you are able to execute. So I think a lot of times we need to make sure that we break down the massive goal to as small as possible when you do not create any objections to execute on that. That's very, very important. Number 7 is set realistic expectations. Set realistic expectations, so that it means when you break down those small goals, you still need to understand, okay, like how fast I could execute on that. Is this the first time that I do it? So that means that it might be that it will be a little bit more difficult than I thought. Maybe it will be a little bit easier than I thought. But when you set realistic expectations, you do not put too much pressure on yourself. Now, of course, you need to have a positive expectation, but it's a realistic expectation. Number 8 is visualize success. So I really love when I think about it to really visualize how you overcoming those objections, how you really uplifting yourself, how you energize yourself, and you overcome those objections and really pursuing the things that you really said that is important for you. Because objections that we're saying exactly the same objections over and over again, and because of you didn't pursue something meaningful, now you need to visualize that how life could look differently when you're able to beat those objections, when you're able to start thinking positively, when you're able to say, yes, I'm able to do it. I'm able to do it. And really visualize success when you execute on that belief. Number 9 is create a plan. Create a plan. That means that one of the best ways to achieve goals is creating a plan. Now, of course, a plan is one of the things that is very adjustable, pivotable. That means it needs to be adaptable. It's a living being itself, because plans change, because you change, the situation change, everything changes. So that means plan is the thing that is always flows. But you always need to have a plan to understand where you need to execute today. And of course, when you execute and learn and improve, it's much, much easier to overcome objections because you know what you need to do. Number 10 is take small steps. Take small steps. This is one of the best examples, because I really love that it doesn't matter how small the step is. It doesn't matter how small the first step is. What matters is how big the last step. It doesn't matter how small is the first step. That is massive, massive thing, because I truly believe in tiny things leads to massive results. So that means when we take small steps to overcome those objections, so we can say that, okay, what kind of objections do I have? What kind of objections I could avoid, and how I could build myself that objection could not be objection anymore. Number 11 is embrace change and growth. Embrace change and growth. And that's one thing that we able outgrow objection. We able outgrow objection. So that means if we had one objection when we were like not as wise, not as strong, so that means when we embrace growth and really expand ourselves, that means that the objection will always stay the same. But if you become much stronger, much faster, much wiser, that means that objection seems not valid anymore, because you grew, you became better, you became stronger. So it's very, very important to grow ourselves, but we're able to overcome those objections because we have become bigger than those objections. And last one is seek professional support. That means that when you understand exactly where those objections came from, maybe you need that really extra support. And we need to see that. We need to see that extra support. I truly believe that one of the best ways to really overcome all those objections, limiting beliefs, and everything between is asking for help. Because most people have something to overcome. And there is a lot of people who overcame exactly what you're trying to overcome. There's a lot of people who overcame exactly what you need to overcome. So find those people who already overcame and ask what kind of steps do they take to get there. It's very, very important. I truly believe this is one of the best advice ever, is seeking for people who already overcame what you want to overcome. And of course, when you see that what they did, you start to see that, okay, my objection maybe is not valid. my objections are not valid because I see people who achieved what I want to achieve as well. So I hope that you will reflect and look into what kind of objections do you create for yourself, for your future, for the actions, for the goals, because every single person has some kind of objections, some limiting beliefs that's stopping them from taking actions. So those limiting beliefs coming from objections, and we object our future, object the things that we really want, and we learn how to overcome our limiting beliefs, overcome those objections, then of course life starts. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.